Excuse the background sound. Just kind of ignore it for now. But I just want to make a quick little video just talking about how I came to the realization that nothing that we so-called have is really ours. If you really think about it critically and concisely, you'll notice that people that are homeowners, they have their own house, they have this, that, and the third, but they still have to follow homeowners associations, rules, and regulations. If something is truly yours, you should be able to paint a picture of Darth Vader on the side of your house and the homeowners association wouldn't complain. Even the money in your bank account and the money in your pocket is not truly yours. Yes, you went to work and you earned it, right? But at the end of the day, they can snap their fingers and say, hey, you know what? That paper money is no longer valid. We have a new type of verification and authentication monetary system. Now all the money is going to be electronic, and in a snap of fingers and a blink of an eye, money is obsolete. I believe they already did that with pennies. And if you look at it, even your own body. Yes, you're inside your own body. Yes, you can move your arms, your legs, and all that. But at the end of the day, when you pass away, you're going to leave your body behind. Have you ever seen a corpse before? Have you ever seen it? You'll see that the person is no longer there. They're not inside there no more. They're gone. Whatever soul, whatever essence, whatever spirit that was inside of them is long gone. And that person is gone. They left their body behind. They can't even take their body with them. You can't take your money with you. Everything in this world is not ours. You know, it belongs to something and somebody else. You know, point blank period. Even the food that you eat that food or whatever. Oh man, this is some good food. This is my food. I paid for it. This is my food and all that, and this and the third. Think about it. That food has a business that had to find the cow, find the chicken, cut it up, you know, break it down in little pieces and sell it to the restaurant or sell it to whoever they need to sell it to, and then you quote unquote buy it, you know, and it's yours. Yeah, you get to eat it or whatever, but at the end of the day, if they tell you that, hey, you know what? That food you just bought, that food you just ate, you know, instead of paying for it with money, you got to pay for it with something else or whatever. Now you lose access to that, you know, and they tell you what to eat, you know. Let's be real. They give you all of these options in the grocery store. You can get hot dogs, cheesecake, ice cream. But if you look at the preservatives, you look at the chemical compositions that are integrated inside the food, all of it is designed to give you cancer. All of it's designed to break your mind and to break your body down slowly and concisely and precisely. So you have freedom of choice in America, but all of your freedoms of choice lead to degradation, annihilation, and spiritual regulations. There's no amplification of knowledge and wisdom, you know. Most people in the masses don't have an acuity or a propensity for knowledge and wisdom. They want to be ignorant. Even the food you go to a restaurant, you spend that money, do that, you eat it, you know, that was a good meal. Yeah, it's mine, it's mine. Okay, now try to get that without the money. Try to actually go out into nature and hunt your own damn moose or hunt your own deer. Oh, this is federal land. You can't hunt here. This is a federally regulated area. It's like, what? Who gives you the authority to tell people where and where they can't hunt? You know, this is federal land. Let's go back to the days of the Vikings. Did the Vikings follow those rules? Did Julius Caesar follow those rules when the Romans conquered Gaul? They went into other people's places and conquered it. You see, power only respects power until the people learn how to actually gain power, the fundamentals and essential ability and mobilization of power. We're never going to have a change in this world. You own nothing and will be happy. People think their college degree is going to say, I got my college degree, I got me a good job here. You're a good college degree wage slave. You went to all those years in that school, doing all that hard work, and you still will be trapped at a corporation for 40 and 50 years. You know, I always knew my true destiny wasn't to be in an office job. It wasn't to be a wage slave. My true destiny was to be an entrepreneur, to write books, you know, to write music, to make music, to write little animes, to make little movies. Like, that was always my destiny. I just didn't have the right people around me. Everybody around me is a 9-to-5er. Everybody around me, they all just believe getting a 9-to-5 and that's going to save you. Yes, a 9-to-5 is mandatory. A 9-to-5 is essential if you want to survive alive in this world. But it shouldn't be the ultimate thing. And I understand that a lot of us will never accomplish our dreams. A lot of us will never become rich. We'll never become famous. We'll never get no woman in our lives. We'll never ever be at the top of the game. We'll always be, you know, trapped in some type of prison or paradigm or precision. But it doesn't mean you give up. It doesn't mean you just, you know, fall to your knees and throw down your sword and throw down your shield and let the enemy cut your head off from the cavalry attack. You don't. You still fight. You know how much shit I've been through in my life? You know? When my grandma passed away, my whole world fell down, and it got worse from then. You know, I'm just venting on the internet, talking about my life. Then I got random people who I do not know from Sunday to Monday find my channel, become obsessed with me, who I don't even know these people. Find out information about me, dox me online, impersonate me, get me kicked out of my mom's house. Then I have nowhere to go. I go to some other person's house, and this person, you know, whatever, they get kicked out of that. And then now, you know, I'm pretty much damn near, or pretty much on the fucking streets, you know? And people are going to listen to this, and they're going to feel a sort of glorification. They're going to feel a certain superiority. You know, oh yeah, he's homeless, so I feel better about myself. That's pathetic. That's evil, wicked, twisted, and sadistic. But that's just the way the God of this world is. These people will never be punished for their wicked deeds because the God of this world is wicked. You know what I mean? You know? Point blank period. The demiurge, Sophlos the blind one, Sophia's bastard. You see, this world is built upon you going through negative emotions. It's on purpose. It's not an accident why you didn't have that girl. It's not an accident you were teased your whole life. It's not an accident you were an outcast. It's not an accident that you're broke. It's not an accident. It's not an accident that you wanna achieve something that never comes. You know, in the Gnostic text they say one of the greatest loosh farming energies is this. When somebody has a gift and they can see a breakthrough, but then the archons do everything in their power to make sure that person never breaks through. And when that person gets mad and angry, that loosh is even more sweeter and tastier to them. All of this pain is planned. You know, this is not something that just came out of the aether. It came out of the fucking trees. This is something that had a preliminary productivity before it, and it was integrated and installed. All of this crap. You own nothing, man. You know, even your own soul. According to the Gnostic text, your soul is owned by these damn archons. They got control, you know? It's ridiculous, man. You don't own anything because at any moment the government can issue or integrate a new law that says that you're a criminal. If you don't believe me, let's go back to 2020 with the vaccine and the Krabby Patty. Huh? How many people fell victim to that? You know, a lot of people. Even in my family, I would say that a lot of their illnesses were due to that vaccine with the Krabby Patty. People that took critical analyzation on it and you actually studied it and looked into the vaccine. That vaccine was something that was very special to people. You know what I mean? You know, and the way it was implemented and integrated. You know, so we got to take that in consideration as well. And how so many people just fell for hook, line, and sinker. And then you had so many people that were passing away, people that were healthy, people that were 18 years old, people that were 20 years old, people that had no signs of previous health degradations. Next thing you know, they're neutralized. They're having shortness of breath. They're having, heart attacks. They're having strokes. They're having brain aneurysms. They're having all of these negative bodily functions happen when their body used to operate perfectly before 2020. So think about when you were younger. You don't even own your free will. You don't own your free will. Do you think this life really lets you do what you want? In that case, people will quit their fucking jobs right now. You don't own your free will. Ever since you was a kid, you were told to go to school. You were told when you were in class when to talk, when not to talk. You got to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. At a young age, to get you used to being a slave, to get you used to being a servant. Then when you go into college, pretty much almost the same thing. Then when you get that corporate job, it's the same thing. They keep people docile. They give you just enough money so you can feel like you're free, but not enough money to truly break free. I'll say it again. They give you just enough money from these colleges and these degrees to think that you broke free, but you haven't never really broke free, because true freedom is power. True freedom is doing whatever you want to do, when you want to do, however you want to do it. Point blank period. That's true freedom. And a lot of us never experienced that because this world is not built on freedom. This world is built on oppression. Just think about it. You have a God who tells you if you don't listen to him, he's going to send you to hell and burn you forever. Does that sound like a good being? that's something you should worship? A God who's envious, jealous, petty, manipulative, who turns his back on his people at will, who sees the world suffering. There's tens of millions and millions of people right now that are going hungry. Tens of millions of people that are homeless, people that are going through psychological issues. And not all these people are just evil. Some people are. Some people that are homeless or some people that are in bad positions are evil people. But not all of us are. Some people have a good heart, a good mind, and a good spirit. It's just that the demiurge or whatever the hell's controlling this realm doesn't want us to break free. Because if people had their minds right, if people had their grinds tight, if people had their soul in the right alignment, then you would see that a lot of people will realize, hey, why do we have to pass away anyway? From a loving, caring God, you think that an ultimate God would create a human body that's going to slowly deteriorate and die and pass away and turn back to dust? It doesn't even make any sense. If we're true sparks of infinity, why would a loving God make our bodies pass away? We get old, we get sick, and then we just die one day. Why would a loving God create that? It doesn't make any sense to me. But the Gnostic text breaks all that down. Because the God of this world is not the true God. It's the demiurge. Yaldabaoth. That's the one who runs this world. The true God of infinity doesn't want us to be going through this. This is why people like me and other people around the world are waking up. Because you go to church every Sunday, yet that person is still a bastard. That person goes to church every single Sunday, and they're still evil. They still do little fucked up shit. They still talk behind people's backs. And you tell me that they serve a good God? No, they serve the demiurge. A good God would punish evil. It would punish people that are being wicked. It would punish all this wickedness. It would reveal the truth to the people. It wouldn't hide the truth. Why do we have secret bases on the ground? Why we got secret bases on the moon? Why we got secret bases in the oceans? Why is there classified information? Why did they hide the knowledge of giants and fairies and all these mysterious creatures throughout Greek history, throughout all the histories around the world? And each from ancient China, ancient Africa, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient everywhere, ancient Persia, Arabia, everywhere around the damn world, ancient Americas, they talk about dragon beings, they talk about giants, they talk about supernatural creatures. Yet today it's called fantasy. But yet you see it in every video game you play, you see it in every movie you play. They show you the reality through what they will call fiction. You see Hollywood, let me break it down. Do you know what a Hollywood is? The word Hollywood comes from a tree called the holly tree. And the Hollywood tree used to be a tree that ancient Jews used to make to cast their wands. They used to take the Hollywood tree and then make wands out of it. Yes, wands, like you cast spells like Harry Potter. Wands, that's what the ancient Druids used to do. Now the Druids, they didn't write down any of their techniques, or so they say. But we already know the Rothschilds and the powers that be. They got secret books and secret knowledge and stuff that's hidden. There's the Vatican Library that they hide all the information and validations and authentications from the people. So they'll tell you a lie. They'll tell you there's no such thing as magic. That's just fake in the movie. And they'll turn around and use magic on you. That's why most of the masses are asleep. Most of the masses are just people that are just trapped in insanity. They're trapped with arrogance. They're trapped with ignorance. They think that living in ignorance, they think that just going to some place, and praising some being that doesn't give a fuck about you because your life would be better. You know what I mean? And all of our lives would be better if there was a good God ruling over us. You don't own anything in this world. You don't even own your next breath because you don't even know when you're going to pass away. Anything and everything can be taken from you. You can be in that restaurant eating your food. Like, I paid for this. I paid my money for this. It's my food in my restaurant. And they can say, oh, sir, it's declined. So either you're going to get arrested or you're going to start washing dishes in the back. What's up? At any moment, your peace can be interrupted. At any freaking moment, somebody can come and snatch away your peace. At any moment, somebody can come and take it from you. You own nothing. And part of the Illuminati credo is that you'll own nothing and be happy. How many people right now are happy waking up, going to work every single day? You got people that see through life, like, hey, I ain't got no choice, I have to go to work. Same here with me. I gotta, wake up and find a 9 to 5 and go and do what I have to do in order to survive. But how many people would really want to do that? It's not being lazy. It's not being lazy because we were taught from a young age to do things that we don't want to do. It's not that people don't want to go to work because they're lazy. They don't want to go to work because that doesn't align with their soul. They want to work on something that they want to work on. Somebody that wants to write poetry wants to be money making poetry. How come that can be a full-time job? You know the reason why the music industry has the J's controlling it? Because imagine if you got 1 million ninjas who make their rap songs and each view is $1. Can you imagine that? Imagine even on this little small channel I have, imagine if every view I got was $1. You know, I look at my all-time views in this small little channel. It's $50,000. That'd be 50,000 views almost, right? That means I made 50 grand. You know what I mean? If every view was $1. Can you imagine if everybody be having YouTube then? You know? Right? But they have to make it oppressive. They have to take a certain percentage. It's the same with the streaming sites. They can't let us get rich. They don't want us to have full control of our lives. That's why everything is set up within oppression, within an oppression, within another system of oppression. This is not true life. This is wicked. We don't even own anything in this world. Back in the days, people used to own land, cattle, horses, vegetable gardens, all that. People used to own shit like that. Now, what do people own? An apartment, they don't own that. A house, they don't really own that. I bought my home, I'm a homeowner. Okay, break the homeowners association rules and stop paying your mortgage and see how fast the bank, and we know the Jays control the bank, how fast the Jays who control the banking system take away your home in an instant. They don't care if you spent 30 years trying to buy a home. And think about that. It would take you 30, 40, 50 years to own a home back in the days. What the hell? Shouldn't owning a home take about 3 to 5 years, you know, right? Why would they stagnate, you know, resources? Why would they increase the price of things but also lower the wages? Because it's loosh farming. They're harvesting the loosh inside of our souls.